It is July 2nd, 2020, and I'm a little late. I was supposed to do this at the end of June. I realized that I needed to do it, but I just wasn't very motivated. This was definitely a very emotional month. Things have just not been going the way that I had hoped. I suffered an injury at the beginning of the month. It's almost been exactly a month now that I'm still not recovered from it fully. I had really bad muscle spasms in my entire leg, and it caused some of the most severe pain that I've ever had in my life. And I had this pain for like a straight 14 hours. And basically, the way it felt, like if you've ever had like a Charlie horse in your leg, it was like that, but if somebody just kept repeatedly punching that Charlie horse over and over again, like it basically felt like I had just a giant bruise over my entire leg, and just somebody just kept repeatedly hitting it over and over again. And then on top of that, my leg was just twitching out for it was like a full 24 hours before it started to calm down a little bit. My leg basically looked like a xenomorph from Alien trying to burst out of my leg. It was awful. I pretty much wasn't able to do anything for like a full 2 weeks except for lay in bed. Now, walking and just doing regular activities is still kind of difficult. I was at Chipotle yesterday, and just standing in line for the short amount of time that I had to stand there before I could get my order in was just horrific. So yeah, that was the beginning of my month. So I haven't watched the previous vlog since I shot and edited it. So I don't remember everything about it, but I don't remember if I was saying that I was going to try to make this happen or what. I know I talked about the screenwriting process a little bit and all that. And I know with this video, I wanted to talk about the story structure and going forward and all that. We're not going to do that this time. This video is going to be more centered around something that I was afraid of. So when I initially finished the script, I wanted to start shooting in May of 2020, and then the coronavirus stuff started happening, and that pretty much shut the entire world down. I lost my job, and to be completely honest, like after that, I was just too emotionally wrecked to really do anything, because that job gave me a lot of freedom to do these projects and have a source of income still consistently coming in, so I could fund the projects and just, fund my life just to live. And then all of a sudden that was taken away from me. So not only did I just lose my full-time job, I lost, I felt like I lost a little bit more than that. So I didn't really do much movie wise, since my time there. I started, filming a lot of YouTube videos. Just I created a course, the editing course. I started doing the movie reviews, so I mean, I was making stuff still, but I wasn't like, doing filmmaking like movie stuff pretty much. I would think about it every day, but I wasn't doing anything with Let Me Go or trying to, get anything going from there, because I'm just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Although it would probably have been the perfect time to get things done, because, I had all this extra free time. And if the states and all that were to start opening back up again, I would be able to film it because I didn't have a job. So this probably would have been the ideal time to do it. So that was my plan. I was going to start shooting next month. I decided, I think at the end of May, somewhere early around there, that I was going to try and, just start getting planning going for it and all that. So I wanted to start either, like mid July or early August, and, shoot pretty much weekends and during the week whenever we could, if that was something that was possible. So I started planning it, and things were going pretty good. Things were lining up really great. All of the actors that I had lined up, they were still interested in doing it. I rewrote the script to kind of so we could work around some of the limitations that we have with just the world itself right now. I ended up getting a couple of locations that I was worried about originally, and things were just starting to line up for the most part. But then as time went on, things just started getting a little difficult. I'm pretty much doing everything myself because there's no budget for this movie right now. I'm doing all the planning, trying to figure out, all the logistics of getting this movie going, and it just got insanely overwhelming. Like to the point where I'm just like, I was so stressed out every single day that I was starting to lose sleep. I would sleep a few hours a night, wake up in the middle of the night, be up for a while, then go back to bed, wake up early for no reason. Like I just felt an enormous amount of pressure trying to get this done so fast. Making a movie is like an entire process, so trying to do this in such a short amount of time is difficult even on these big Hollywood movies that have money. So I'm sitting here trying to do this with no money, trying to put everything together myself, and I started to see it falling apart as I was doing it. I just kept thinking about, my future, like just trying to not dilute my entire savings account trying to make this happen. I don't know what my job future is or career wise what's going on. So it's like all of this like life stuff was starting to intermingle with just everything that was going on with the movie, and I just started becoming a complete mess. I mean, it's still upsetting me right now that it's not where it should be as far as the process goes. It's even more upsetting that everything was just starting to fall into place. And the thing that's frustrating is when like all the pieces start to come together, it becomes more frustrating that you can't do something like that just because it's not meant to happen at that moment. So I was trying to come up with some alternative plans in case we couldn't make this happen. So I knew that if we were going to shoot this movie, I need to get everything done that needed to get done, get all the actors planned out, and we would essentially need 12 to 15 perfect weekends of shooting for this to work. Because one of the other things that was working against me is that it's still pretty early in the summer, but between I live in the Midwest and the summer ends pretty quickly and then moves into the fall. So, looks wise, if I'm shooting clips from the beginning of the movie, but we can't start shooting them until fall, and then everything outside looks different, that creates a whole other set of problems. So I was starting to stress out about that. All these like little details. It's just like, as the saying goes, one step forward, two steps back. If one thing were to go right with this movie, then two other things would have gone wrong with it. So then I started coming up with some other ideas for an alternative plan just in case this didn't work out. So I'm like, okay, what if we made a concept short, just so we could show something. I could maybe take this to investors to try to get some money or maybe some contest or something. I just wanted to be able to shoot what was the idea as far as like the tone, what the story was about, all, just the horror elements. I wanted to put that together into a short film just to kind of get it out there. So I wrote a 3-page short and I wanted to see if that would work. So my girlfriend and I just wanted to kind of just do this sort of like a pre-rehearsal where we would shoot the short together and see what worked and what didn't. So we would shoot things, it got really overly complicated, and then next thing we finished it. But there's some things that I realized while shooting it that kind of made me even realize how much everything was working against me. So all of the footage that we shot was just completely useless. It wasn't anything that she did wrong, it was mostly just my plan. I started learning that some of my equipment is starting to crap out. Like I have like these, V-mount batteries for my camera. They're very expensive. I'm shooting on the Blackmagic Pocket 4K. The internal batteries for it are pretty much garbage, so you need to use some sort of external solution to keep the camera running longer. And I've had this battery for a long time and it's just starting to crap out on me. Some of my other equipment, I don't want to get into it, but some of my other equipment is just starting to crap out on me. Or, like I said, it was just one thing or another that I was just starting to realize was going to be a problem. Things that I have done in the past were not going to work for this. So that made me realize, okay, I have like a whole other set of problems that I need to figure out. And that's just not something I felt that I could do in a month. I mean, I could definitely throw everything together in a month. I did that on Cashing Out. But the problem is I didn't want to make this movie like Cashing Out. I wanted to take my time, really work things out so that way I wouldn't have the same problems I did as I did the other movie. And then I just slowly came to realize that it probably just wasn't meant to happen right now. That really sucks because I just don't know if I'm ever going to get another chance to ever make this film, but I'd rather not make it than have it just turn out to be complete garbage. Like, I've really felt like I've written the best screenplay of my career so far, and I didn't want to mess it up just trying to get it made. I just saw a lot of things similar to Cashing Out happening that was going to be a huge problem, and I knew it was going to make Let Me Go suffer if we were to do it the same way. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just forget about the feature right now. Like, this is going to bum me out real hard, but it's just going to have to be how it is. So I still wanted to make something, so I told myself and my crew and the cast and all that we were going to do the concept short. Sure, that means that a lot of the actors aren't going to be a part of it anymore, but luckily they're understanding, and hopefully once I get this all figured out, we can actually get this thing done. So right now the plan is to hopefully film the shorts in the next 2 weeks. So it's Thursday, July 2nd right now, hoping to film the short July 18th. So on the next video here, I'm going to hopefully tell you that we made it and it went really well. I plan on really taking my time shooting it. It's only 3 pages. I mean, I'll take the entire day to shoot it, but I'll just, really take my time to just slowly get things right, do multiple takes. We'll do rehearsals, which is one thing that I haven't really ever had time to do. We're really just going to just make sure everything is right with this, so that way when it's time to present it, it's going to look and sound really good. So that's all I'm going to talk about for this video. Like I said, this month has just been an emotional roller coaster for me. I almost feel silly kind of talking about my feelings about it, just because, first world problems, but this is something that's just very important to me and something that I just really want to do. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this one. So I guess I will see you all next month. Thank you all so much for watching.